and solo the inbounder. Fuller with it! Russo in space. Service in. Oh, and he scores! Line drive off the glove of Zamora. Parker comes home and so will love it. Georgia Southern walks it off. Eagle Nation, welcome back to another edition of the GATA Zone, your one-stop shop for a deeper look inside Georgia Southern athletics. I'm your host, Danny Wall of GATA Productions, and I'm here with head women's basketball coach Hana Haden as basketball season is right around the corner, kicking things off this Monday in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge against Central Michigan. Coach, welcome to the GATA Zone. Glad you're with us.
Thanks, Danny. I'm excited to be here.
When you get ready for year two and the practices that's been taking place so far in the preseason, what's the excitement level to get back out there and play this year?
Yeah, everybody's really excited, for preseason to working in the summer, to even going into postseason from last year with those workouts. I think, we've been excited about having the opportunity to play against somebody else in a couple scrimmages, but I think everybody's kind of ready for the real thing in 5 days.
Last season was not just year one with Georgia Southern, it was also your first year as a Division I head coach. 16-18 overall, 6-12 in the Sun Belt, and even having a deep run in the Sun Belt tournament. As you reflect on year one in your first year as a D1 head coach, what are some of the biggest lessons learned overall?
Yeah, I think we have to start really defining our identity and playing well sooner. That's really important in the Sun Belt, especially with the format of our tournament. We were kind of last year when we were hitting those tough stretches, we were really trying to turn our focus to okay, let's play well in March, which we did. But we waited too long because, again, our tournament format is really unforgiving. So I just think that the importance of every single conference game, the impact that can have on your tournament seeding and that bracket is just so important. So, we're really focusing in the non-conference on establishing that identity. And we really have to, become that identity, that defensive team that we want to be, the things that we want to do on the offensive side of the ball. You don't have conference games to start figuring that out. So December 18th, we start early. Sun Belt play this year. It's going to be really important that we know who we are going into that game.
You started out early well last year, 4-0, the best start for the Eagles in quite some time. And you entered this year with 11 newcomers overall, basically building a new team of 4 returners. But what has that been like as the players get to know each other, learn each other, and work under your system?
Yeah, it's definitely a process, but I think what our 4 returners did in the postseason, I think really kind of helped jumpstart that. I mean, they worked really, really hard. We really spent a lot of time, like we called it kind of leadership academy, getting together in the locker room. We read different books. We really talked about what we wanted this year to look like and how that started then. And I think that they have really led the way, and it helps when you have really great character coming in. We had players that really wanted to be here, want to be a part of the sisterhood here at Georgia Southern and represent the university. And so I think it kind of made for a seamless transition as far as the camaraderie goes, and kind of, trying to initiate that. And then that just makes it, you get on the floor and you've got to establish that same chemistry.
Also interesting how when it comes to the sisterhood, you were able to bring in players that you also coached before in previous schools. I mean, when you have that coming in and having that leadership, how much does it also just help you, that knowing they can help lead the way?
Yeah, it helps a lot. I think it it helps, I think, having Shanti Simmons in a full year. She came in at semester last year, and it's really hard to be in rhythm whenever you're doing that. I think she practiced maybe 3 or 4 times, and then, before she, got to get out there. And then, I think it's a huge advantage in the point guard position, to have somebody that you're really familiar with and knows your system and knows how you want things. And Destiny Garrett, who was a D2 All-American last year and had multiple triple-doubles. And so I think that part is really going to help us.
Well, we're going to look at the upcoming schedule for 2025-2026 when we come back after the commercial break. So keep it locked here on the GATA Zone.
When you step into Paulson Stadium, walk through the football locker room, or stroll through the Hall of Fame, what you see is more than just space. It's a story. At Whitfield Signs, we bring those stories to life. From iconic athletic branding to elegant collegiate displays, Whitfield Signs can craft striking custom signage to help elevate your brand. Whitfield Signs, official sign provider of Georgia Southern Athletics.
As children, we wanted to build something amazing. Maybe a huge tower for heroes. Our imaginations soared. At Georgia Southern University, that spirit stays alive in our students. We chase our curiosities. We think big and achieve more than we ever dreamed. beyond goals, beyond limits. Georgia Southern University. Soar beyond.
The Window World family is more than just windows and doors. From our daily efforts supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to find cures and save children's lives, to our ongoing commitment to serve active military and their families and America's veterans, to honor those who fought and who served to keep this great nation safe. At Window World, great service is not only taking care of our customers, it's about serving our community. Window World of Coastal Georgia and South Carolina. Please join us.
Welcome back to the GATA Zone. Danny Waugh alongside head women's basketball coach Hana Haden. Coach, the preseason rankings for the Sun Belt came out just about a week ago when the team picked to finish 10th in the preseason. But now a year under your belt going through the Sun Belt and seeing how competitive it is, what really stands out the most when you look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes us think back to, a lot of our games last year. I always think the preseason poll has a lot to do with how you finished last year, and you can see that in this year's poll. And so I think it's a really great reminder of probably several opportunities that we felt like we let get away from us. A lot of close games, one-possession games. I mean, we won 7 out of our last 11. You get beat at the buzzer twice. We lost a triple overtime game. We lost Arkansas State at their place by 3, at the end of that game. And so, I think it's just a really good reminder of, again, the importance of every conference game. You've got to be able to win the close ones, and so I think that'll be a huge motivating factor for our entire program, especially those returners from last year.
Well, you mentioned in our first segment that you want to establish your identity early in non-conference, and you have quite the test to start the season. Looking at some of the marquee matchups, when you open the season this Monday, the MAC Sun Belt Challenge against Central Michigan, but 3 days after you go to Florida State, and then even after that, Sunday, number 5 LSU comes to the Hill. It's already a sold-out event. Flajay Johnson returning to Southeast Georgia, having Kim Mulkey in the house. I mean, when you look at that first half in the non-conference schedule, I mean, how much did you really want to test your team?
Yeah, we're getting tested early, and I think it's better to see where you're at early, find out what your deficiencies are. Again, even with starting the Sun Belt play early this year, we really need to figure those things out as early as we can. So I think we have a schedule set up to do that. I think Central Michigan was picked 5th in their league. They led the MAC in offensive rebounding last year, so that'll be a really big test for us. And obviously we know it going on the road to Florida State, hosting LSU, and even Missouri State won the Missouri Valley last year. So some really tall tasks there to start, and I'm really excited for this group, just for those opportunities and kind of seeing how things, again, develop and kind of come to fruition. And, obviously you have your preseason scrimmages, and we've started to see that identity develop for us, and so we just have to do a really good job, even staying the course in some of those early games, so that we could continue to grow and for it to evolve the way that we needed to.
And you talk about that early start, the Sun Belt play, December 18th, a week before Christmas. You open things up against Georgia State, and then you also have matches later on against James Madison at home and also Arkansas State, who was picked to finish number 1 and 2 in the Sun Belt. So overall, when you look at that and you look at the Sun Belt schedule, and we just saw some highlights from practice, how do you feel like everything has come together to get ready to jump into this year headstrong?
Yeah, well, I think one big thing, thinking about Sun Belt Conference play, right, is last year we were pretty dominant in the post. We could pretty much go in there and score at will. But on the other side of that, when you're trying to match up with kind of modernized basketball, whereas last year we were playing traditional basketball, it's really tough to match up. So that was a big thing that we wanted to address, through our recruiting this year, is we wanted to be able to space the floor better. We needed to be able to shoot the ball better, have more three-point shooting on the floor, and we also wanted to be able to defend it better. So I think we've gotten more versatile, with what we're able to do defensively. We're able to play a little bit faster and increase our possessions. And so I think that should help us fare well. Again, in some of those really close games where we're not getting production from the three-point line, and we weren't a great free throw shooting team last year, and then we were giving up a lot of threes, and we're losing some of those close games. And so we hope with our recruiting that we've been able to close the gap on some of those categories.
Final question, Coach. You talked about a lot of those qualities of your team and what you want to establish, but you also have Eagle Nation that's been backing you the entire time. What do you want Eagle Nation to know about this team and just seeing the support that they've put into you and this program, especially going from Hanner Fieldhouse to the Jack and Ruth Van Hill Convocation Center? That's got to be an exciting thing to kick off the year in the Hill. What would you like Eagle Nation to know about this program?
Yeah, this program is invested in Statesboro and in our community. I mean, this, I don't want to say the wrong number, but I mean, even from post-season. So I think they had the 2 weeks after spring break from when we lost last year. From then until just a couple of weeks ago, we're at hundreds of hours of community service. And we're telling our group, one, we're blessed and we want to give back. And two, it's a great way to spend time together. And three, we want to get out and engage and get to know Eagle Nation. And this is a group that's going to be really fun to watch. They're very tough. They're relentless. They play so hard. They play together. Again, we're going to make more threes this year. We're going to get up and down the floor faster. And so I think it's going to be a really fun style of play to watch. And we hope to see Eagle Nation out supporting us at the Hill.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing what this team will do this upcoming season. Best of luck as the season kicks off on Monday against Central Michigan, 6 p.m. at the Hill. And when we come back after the break, Hunter Moseley will finish things off as he will catch up with our player spotlight in fifth-year senior guard McKenna Eddings. So keep it locked here on the GATA Zone.
When you step into Paulson Stadium, walk through the football locker room, or stroll through the Hall of Fame, what you see is more than just space. It's a story. At Whitfield Signs, we bring those stories to life. From iconic athletic branding to elegant collegiate displays, Whitfield Signs can craft striking custom signage to help elevate your brand. Whitfield Signs, official sign provider of Georgia Southern Athletics.
As children, we wanted to build something amazing. Maybe a huge tower for heroes. Our imaginations soared. At Georgia Southern University, that spirit stays alive in our students. We chase our curiosities. We think big and achieve more than we ever dreamed. Beyond goals, beyond limits. Georgia Southern University. Soar beyond.
The Window World family is more than just windows and doors. From our daily efforts supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to find cures and save children's lives, to our ongoing commitment to serve active military and their families and America's veterans, to honor those who fought and who served to keep this great nation safe. At Window World, great service is not only taking care of our customers, it's about serving our community. Window World of Coastal Georgia and South Carolina. Please join us.
Welcome back to the GATA Zone with this week's Player Spotlight. I'm Hunter Moseley, standing here with fifth-year guard McKenna Eddings. McKenna, thank you for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Going into now your second season at Georgia Southern in Statesboro, what's been one of the biggest takeaways that you've had from your time so far at Georgia Southern?
The biggest thing for me, Statesboro is a community-based area, and I really love all the support that everyone brings, not just to women's basketball, but really all sports, and it just translates to everything around here.
It's your second year in Georgia Southern with Coach Haden as well, but it's not your second year with Coach Haden. You spent 4 years with Coach Haden, going all the way back to Moberly Area Community College. Describe your relationship with Coach Haden and how that's helped you develop.
Me and Coach Haden, not even Coach Haden, Coach Hana, we're super locked in. Like you said, it's been 4 years that I've been playing for, and our relationship is super tight. Ups and downs, it doesn't matter. That's my dog for life.
Looking into your fifth year, what are your goals for this upcoming season? A tough non-conference schedule ahead, but now a season with Georgia Southern, more familiar with this program. What do you want to see out of yourself and this team?
A couple things I want to see out of myself. Personally, I just want to make sure I'm an all-around scorer from the three, mid-range, layups. It doesn't matter what it is, and not even just offensively, but defensively as well. Just making sure I'm the best player I can possibly be every game. And for my team, just making sure we're as locked in as possible, and making sure our chemistry off the court translates on the court, and just getting the dub every time.
What did your off-season look like in preparation for this upcoming year to be that player that you want to be?
Off-season is super packed, and I'm super locked in. Everything that I did last year, I want to make sure I'm doing it 10 times better this year. So just making sure I'm getting my shots up and working out as much as possible and perfecting my craft is the biggest goal.
As one of 4 returners on this year's team, a little bit more of a leadership role for you this season. What can you take away out of being a little bit more of a leader, and how you've been able to bond with 11 newcomers on this team?
Yeah, it's a lot of new people, but I just want to make sure that everyone was coming into a culture, and a good culture at that, and if they had bad seasons previous to coming here or even last season, just making sure like it's a lot better. And not even just for the new people, but even the other 3 returners that we had last year, just making sure it's the best year as possible. And this is my last year, so I'm going to go out with a bang regardless.
Absolutely. What is one thing that you think Eagle Nation needs to know about you?
One thing Eagle Nation should know about me, I'm an extremely creative person, and I like to crochet a lot. So I have a small business called Crochet by Ken. Literally anything you want, anything you need, especially for Georgia Southern, I can make it customized to that for football, basketball, whatever it is. Like, I can make it for you. So if y'all want to lock in with me, yeah, get right with me.
You heard it here first. Go check out Crochet by Ken. I'll definitely be checking that out after this. Your season coming up on Monday night against Central Michigan. Georgia Southern taking on Central Michigan at the Hill at 6 o'clock Eastern. This has been it for the GATA Zone. Special thanks to McKenna, Eddings, Coach Hana, Haden, and Danny Waugh. This has been Hunter Moseley. Thank you for watching the GATA Zone.